do have to come up with another band.
Ooh. Oh, I got to come up with two. I got mine. They won't win. That's my new strategy. Pick bands that definitely won't
Would
win.
it be different than everything else we've ever picked?
God.
I shouldn't cross them out. Cause...
I should pick Kiss 4 times a week. At some point, it'll be Kiss. That's our big... We need to have a list of all the winners of the radio game.
If we had a whiteboard, we could actually put their names on.
We're not going to have a whiteboard. I'm just going to tell you right fucking now. We'll have a whiteboard, and when you bring one over...
If I start filming this, the whiteboard would be like the centerpiece of the video.
I don't disagree, but you're not filming yet.
How do you know? I got the Ring camera up in the corner there. In your bedroom, the corner here. It's everywhere.
Oh, I polish the lenses every day. I understand. I know what's going on there. All right, well, hopefully the intro
We don't like to
played.
cuss on our podcast.
We don't like to, but it doesn't stop us from it. Hey, everybody, have you heard about a brand new dance? It's called TheAscertainers.
Wow.
The good news is that regardless of how you got here because I have been told, so I verified, that if you spell TheAscertainers the other way, with 2 S's, you dirty birdie, the Ascertainers, as opposed to the Ascertainers, both come up as us. Oh, feel like I'm a phrasing, or at least emphasis. Yeah, so if you do the Ascertainers with 2 S's, it'll say, did you mean the Ascertainers? And then there we are, regardless. So I don't think we need to protect that region of our...
Well, it's funny you said,
body.
If you type in Ascertainers, or if you type in Ascertainers.
What I'm saying is,
I know what you're trying to say, but
or ASC,
but you sounded the same when you pronounced both of those.
Well, it's almost as if one I did in italics and the other one in just regular or bold. Ascertainers. Sorry about that.
Oh, you could have used the toy megaphone.
No, that was last episode. That was yesterday, last episode. So we are the Ascertainers, and they're not just me, Jim. They're also Mark.
Hello, everyone.
What do you got to say for yourself, Mark? What number episode is this? Oh, shit. At least I didn't do it. Kind of, mostly.
You know, if they're looking at the episode, it actually has the number that they know what episode number it is.
Is it the first one?
No. When they click on it, it'll say the actual number that they're listening to. So you don't have to number it, Jim.
Is it the second one? I got all night. I think that we could probably kill a whole episode just by saying.
You've killed just about every episode.
The 14th. Oh, that's so nice.
I'm sorry.
I can't believe Mark never has 2 cups of coffee at home. All right, well, here we are. We're the Ascertainers. Where are we, Mark? What state are we in? Or can we not say that anymore?
No, we're in the beautiful state of Minnesota.
We're in coastal Minnesota.
Don't you know?
After the comet hit, here we are. Nice view of the ocean.
I don't think that'll, even if total mayhem hit, I don't think we'll ever be a coastal type state.
Why do you think? Here's the funny thing. So we just had a really, we're coming into spring. Confucius say, he who spring forward, come into spring. Anyway, we just came, we just exited, that much better. We find ourselves at a point in time where we've endured a mild winter, one of the most mild winters that I can remember.
Yes.
Other than the 4 years I was in Phoenix, those were better. But anyhow, we had almost no snow And I used my snowblower exactly one time, and I could have easily waited 2 days and it would have melted. It was just it was a blip of a winter. The previous winter was an absolute nightmare, where we had like 5 feet of snow. It was brutal and cold as shit. It was just awful. So I say this shit kind of balances out. But where was I going with this?
I don't know.
Oh, the comet. So I feel like, again, we're not political. I'm not going to try to go anywhere with this. But the one thing I would say, well, this is just an issue-related topic. If we can get all the scientists to agree on what it should be tomorrow, like for the temp, then I'll say, yeah, then I'll trust you guys to solve this whole fucking problem. But I think that Earth's going to Earth, and like every once in a while, a fucking comet will hit the Earth, or a goddamn volcano will just wipe out half of the goddamn continent. So I'm not. I don't think that we're going to do much to control weather patterns and
following that
climate per se.
Following that.
It sounds pretty political, and we're not political, so I'm glad.
I'm not, but I'm going to go off on meteorologist Paul Douglas. He's always explaining why meteorologists are wrong.
It's a good job. You couldn't do that in your old job.
No, you can't be right.
As a person who did what you used to do, which we can't talk about. We can talk about what you did. We can't talk about who you did it for. But if you, well, I'll just say, hypothetically, if you were a pilot, and somebody hopped on a plane to Columbus and they wound up in Paris,
you'd
probably
trouble.
lose your job that day.
Yes.
Fucking weathermen. Oh yeah, bring an umbrella. It's the worst sunburn I ever got. Well, we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, well, that was the other model. We didn't follow that model.
You gotta always go for the European model. And I think I've said this on other podcasts. I wish they would just say, well, let's take a look at the European model. And if they had some chick in a bikini walk by.
Is Aaaand European?
I don't know. Oh my gosh, we're that far in. I think Iman.
Is she British?
I don't think she's from
or
Minnesota.
Australia. No. You know, that would be terrible if she was, that we were discounting her already. That
maybe she is from Minnesota.
She could be.
That's a good thing. That's good.
She's from the Iron Range.
Homework for. Is that how she got that name? Aaaand. I mean, come on, man. If you're going by one name, you're pretty good at what you do. Sting, Pele.
Who was first? Was it Cher, Iman, or no? I guess it would be.
I think Twiggy is right up there with the one name.
Oh,
models.
you're right. Wow.
Twiggy goes way back.
Yeah.
Athlete-wise, you got your Pele. I think, as musically, you too broke some ground. The Police. Hold on, the Police are way before. Sting.
Sting was. Well, Cher musically was before
way before. Yes, a first name. But I know there were other artists that were, like there was an Astrid, and maybe she had a last name too, but she did the girl from Ipanema.
Oh,
great song with Stan Getz on, I think, saxophone. Oh, I hope. Anyway, so one named, how about Joey? No. Yeah.
I think that's still Mr. Browner.
Joey Browner. I mean, Mr. Joe, Mr. JB. We want to learn more about your foundation, especially the most current work that you're doing, and we want to talk about it on this podcast. And at one point, we would be honored if you would be our guest, and we can talk about a little bit about your phenomenal NFL career. This is Joey Browner, former Minnesota Viking, and I believe Tampa Bay Buccaneer at the end of his career. Why we didn't look that up
before?
Why we let him go is a whole nother story. But we could talk about your insanely great career and how freaking dominant you were. We could talk a little bit about music, but we could mostly talk about your foundation and try to get the word out to our massive audience of the Ascertainers. And I can only imagine if Joey Browner was on, there would be a whole lot more earballs listening to this little thing that we do.
Not to offend you, and hopefully you're gracious enough.
Me or Joey Browner?
Joey.
Oh,
Mr. Browner.
Thank you. Don't
to me,
offend me.
That we are childish, and if you could put up with our tomfoolery, that would be even better.
I would commit to no swears on that episode.
Well, I think you should commit
So
to
it
that.
would be a lot of editing.
Every episode.
Well, I know that his foundation has a lot to do with young kids.
You did not swear with your mother on.
Oh, I sure probably did.
I don't think you did.
Well, okay. Well, then that would be a good, if he's like wondering, okay, if these guys for real, that would be an example of how we can perform without swearing. But my mom wouldn't knock me through a wall if I did, and Joey Browner might.
Mr. Browner, I do not like to cuss myself, so.
Mark is he's quite. It'd be awesome. It'd be awesome if he came on and just started
dropping the F-bomb.
Cursing like crazy. It'd be funny. It's like Daniel Tosh does a thing. Are you familiar? He's a stand-up guy at a Comedy Central show for about 20 years. He goes, could you imagine if you got into heaven and God started swearing? So anyway, I'm sorry.
I wasn't going to do that. I was just going to send people to the website.
Some people do say it's just words. I mean, words can't hurt you. Sticks and stones, man. But I do think that there's a degree of disrespect shown when you. I mean, I hope I don't disrespect you when I swear around you. But like, if there's somebody that you had a great, what's the word for deference? Is deference a good thing or a bad thing? Anyway, if you had great respect for a person, where you wouldn't smoke around them, you wouldn't drink around them, you wouldn't swear around them, then it's like, yeah, that's how we would treat Joey Browner. I might smoke. I'm just kidding. I don't smoke. No, we would clean up our act accordingly. For every other guest we've had on Sorry We Swore the whole time.
I don't like to swear, but I don't care if other people do. It doesn't bother me. Something personal.
How do you think that happened? I mean, were you raised that way? You get hit with a ruler if you swore?
No, you're
just a good person?
No, there was a
This
time
is how we find out?
Going through college that I swore all the time when I was there, and then I'd come home and I'd never cuss in front of my folks and family. But then I'd go back and I would be right back into it. It was funny how I could turn it on and off. But now I just don't care to.
I remember the first time I dropped an F-bomb in front of my mom.
She slap you?
No. Oh, she got it. And it had to do with, so I have like kind of a weird eye condition, and I had to wear hard contact lenses to fix it. And back in the day, hard contact lenses were even more brutal than they sound. It was like, do they have to be dry? I mean, it literally felt like they were putting a hunk of wood in your eye. And I remember I was so pissed. I didn't want to go. We had an appointment, and I was before I could drive, so I was probably like, I don't know, 15, 14 years old or whatever. And she goes, Jim, we have to go. And I'm like, I don't want to go. I go, it's just going to be a bunch of fucking... And I actually said, because a lot of the doctors there were foreign, I'm just being honest here. I go, it's just going to be a bunch of fucking foreigners looking at my eye going, wow, look at that shit. And she was like horrified, but also kind of got it. We still went. So anyway, but Mayo was like it was and still is like a teaching institution. So,
right.
And my corneas are so fucking unique that everybody had to get a look. It wasn't like, okay, yeah, here we go. We're gonna give you a prescription for your glasses or your contacts or whatever, and you're on your way, sir. It'd be more like, attention, he's getting ready to leave. It felt like they would just announce it for blocks, and there'd just be a lineup of people to look at this little device right into my little eyes and whatever. So, but since then, I have mellowed in my approach, and I'm thankful for how well I can see, even if that might not be perfectly.
Wow.
I get to see, Mark.
I know it.
That's
from an earlier podcast.
Yes. So that's our feel-good message. Do you want to talk about one-eyed, armed, or named performers, or what would you like to?
Let's do a Newt's promo to get it out of the way. I should say that, not to get it out of the way, but to make sure we don't forget it.
That was Mark.
You're right. Sorry, Corey. Sorry, Sarah.
Corey is going to be so bad. What do you want to talk about? Newt's? I've never heard of it. What is it?
Well, we went there tonight, which we usually do, and I was watching Cheers the other day, and that is my Cheers. I'd never had a place like that in my life before, that I know a lot of the workers there. They know me, and
You want to go where everybody knows your name. Is
Yes.
that the theme song?
yeah,
Oh, that's fantastic.
it's a very nice feeling,
It is.
actually.
And you know why that's a nice, how that nice feeling is allowed to happen is that Newt's has very low staff turnover.
You're right.
They literally, I mean, I would say that I would say 2/3 of their staff has been there over a year. And then the other third, and then we're talking front of house. I don't know about back of house or whatever, but I think I know, actually it's probably more like 80% of the people I know. And there was one tonight, a hostess that we see every week, but she's just running back and forth all the time. And finally I said, hey, what's your name? And it was Amelia. So Amelia, please don't listen to this podcast. You're too young.
Yeah.
Go do your homework. Go do something. Go volunteer and help blind kids or something. But don't listen to this, or listen to this and just do the opposite of what we do, and you'll turn out fine.
But Ashley was there, and she served us when the Think Drink Disney people were there.
Yep.
And she was very nice to come over and say hi again.
I asked her, hey, come back. I'm going to tell you, you got a shout out on the second episode of the Think Drink guys. And I'm like,
Which number? Sorry, I'm just kidding.
It's episode 51.
Oh, you
It
know
just came out today. Thanks there, Johnny Stumpus.
Season 1, episode 51.
Well, let's talk about that soon here. We're coming up on our first anniversary. But anyhow, Lance from Think Drink Disney, who is also, I think he's a man of many skills and pursuits. But one of them is he's like one of my favorite servers ever. Like if you ever go to the, I think we could say the Tavern Apple Valley, Tavern Grill in Apple Valley. I think he pretty much works Friday and Saturday night, the money nights. Just try to get in Lance's section, and he'll make you feel like a king. It's just great. He's not like pretentious.
Lance, I couldn't get in on Easter. Can you pull some strings and get me in there on
This year?
Easter brunch? Yeah. I called over 3 weeks in advance, and it was sold out at the Tavern Grill.
Wow. Well, just go in, and when they call Bill, just go right here. Table of 8. Oh, they're coming. They'll be here in a little bit. Yeah. So you like that kind of crowded brunch scene?
I do enjoy the Easter brunch there.
Here's what I'll probably do for Easter. I will go and I'll get some English muffins. I might try to make English muffins, by the way. They look pretty easy to make. And a little egg, a little creamy bacon, a little cheese. Make myself a little homegrown either. Did you know that Eggs Benedict are basically just an open-faced Egg McMuffin with gravy on it?
Yeah, but it's the sauce that makes it the Benedict.
It's not gravy. It's whatever you call it. Is it a...
Well, it's a special sauce.
Is it a hollandaise sauce?
Yes. It's difficult to make correctly that tastes good.
I'm glad they call it hollandaise sauce, and that some guy named Hollandaise and not Jim. Because if it was just eggs with Jim sauce, nobody's going to eat that.
I like to make American muffins because I'm all about America.
Did you say a MarkMuffin?
No, America muffins, not this English muffins.
No, what if it was an egg MarkMuffin, though?
Well, that's the same thing as saying an American.
I swear, next time I go to
American.
McDonald's, which I haven't been to McDonald's in a long time, I know you wouldn't know it by looking at me, but I'm going to go, I'll take an egg MarkMuffin, and they're going to go like, okay, pull forward.
They will.
I wonder what it'll be.
It'd just be like a muffin with fish, egg, fish.
Oh, so the muffin would be the same, but there would be a filet-o-fish on top?
Yeah.
Give me that filet-o-fish. Hey, man, why did they retire that commercial? It's that time of year, right? It's like Lent.
You're right. Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't seen any, I guess, I don't watch that much TV.
Yeah, who watches TV?
You know what I see on TV? All I see on TV are ads for other TV programming and pharmaceuticals.
Well, because
There's a lot of drug ads on TV.
You're watching streaming services, and they always
No.
have commercials of what's on their streaming service.
I'll tell you what I watch on TV. I watch Modern Family reruns on whatever channel. I split my time kind of evenly between the national news channels, but it's like, wow, it's like insurance, that's the other one. Like car insurance and drugs and other programming. And here's a question. Here, I'm going to ask you this. We're not political, but during the political campaigns, there's a shit they talk about. Oh, you raised fucking $20 million and it's all going toward ads in Iowa. So that money starts off in someone's pocket. It goes to the campaign fund, and then I'm using my fingers here, buy ads. Where does that money go?
I have no idea.
That has always been a thing. It's like, well, fuck, why wouldn't everybody have a TV channel or a network?
Wow.
Where the whole work.
Wow,
Follow the money.
But that's a great idea.
Make a TV channel?
Yeah.
Oh, we're political all of a sudden. We'll take all your money. Tell us what to say.
It doesn't matter who you are, but if you get enough money, you would be like a Ted Turner who started his own channels. And just do that.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
I'm not saying I'm not advocating for either side. I'm just saying if you have that much money,
I'll tell you what side my side is what I'm advocating for. Let's get that money.
Actually agree with that. And if you want to send money in, contact us at TheAscertainers@gmail.com.
But we won't sacrifice our integrity. Hey, hand me
Yes, we will.
Hand me
Yes, we will.
Why don't you hand me that delicious bag of Doritos, nacho cheese, tortilla chips, Mark? I'm doing Wayne's World too.
And
it just sucks that everybody has to sell out, man. As he's like eating a Pizza Hut pizza in his Reebok jumpsuit.
I'll wash it down with my Coors Light.
Yes. Oh, we could use a little Coors Light funding. They could send us a 30 rack every once in a while.
I keep them in business.
We might drink them out of business. Anyway, I think that we
Where are we at?
No, on the way to our becoming media moguls, why don't you tell people your idea about taking the Ascertainers multimedia? Walk us through it. Let's
I will.
Maybe somebody, I bet either Pat or Charlie or Roy. Oh, Mrs. Jim wants us to edit out my burps. So next one. We're starting now. No more burping.
But we're done with the Newt's promo.
No, we're still doing that.
We
Did we really start?
We did, but I don't think we actually ended it. We started talking about So before we go on, I thought we'd probably wrap that one up.
I feel like I did something really bad. Okay.
What'd you do?
Well, I interrupted the Newt's promo again. Okay, I'll let you finish it.
Newt's. It's a wonderful place to go.
Where?
I had a great
Where is it?
dinner in Apple Valley, Minnesota.
Thank you.
And has popcorn, sports on the televisions, as they say. And it's a penguin. Oh, that's a Monty Python thing.
Why are you talking so softly? You're like trying to hypnotize people and go to Newt's.
Because I have a big stick.
Try this approach. Newt's, go to Newt's. When you go there, tell them who?
The Ascertainers
sent you. Yeah. And when you go there, get a burger or something else and something to drink.
I liked how you said sent ya. Like one word.
Sent you. The Toyota sent you. XL, the V6. Yeah, that's an Ascertainer sent you. All right, well, maybe we're going to make some new words that the Websters will pick up or something like that. So, we were talking Newts. We were talking about us going worldwide there, Mr. Fucking, what was that thing on Step Brothers? What was it called? Prestige Worldwide? All right, well, what's your version there?
Bros and hoes.
I'm going to call you Johnny Bismarck because I like me a filled donut. What do you got, Johnny Bismarck? Oh, Mark is in Bismarck. Oh, is that your full name?
No.
Bismarck? It should be. It is now.
Yeah, it is. But
JB, tell us about your idea.
Bizmark.
To Bismarcky or Bismarck, already used. So, tell us your idea because it sounds fun. Or do you want to cook? You want to sit on that idea for a little while longer?
I want to sit on that idea a little while.
There's a chance, though, that on our Facebook page, which you should go to, and I think it was like and follow or follow and like or do something. If you do that, you will then learn. It's by the way, our Facebook page is pretty tough to get to. First of all, go to Facebook or Instagram. Are we on the Twitter or the X or no?
We are. We're on all Instagram.
I'm on X. I've never been to it. And I'm on Instagram and I never see our shit. Facebook is kind of our thing. That fits our demographic pretty well.
Yeah, I posted many things on Instagram, but thank you for not noticing.
I guess I don't. That's kind of my favorite place to go social media wise anymore is Instagram versus Facebook because I don't need to buy supplements from my high school classmates.
I've done a lot of work on Instagram and
here we go.
Very hurtful.
What I do now.
We'll talk about this
Mark,
after.
are you on Instagram?
I am not, other than TheAscertainers.
Okay, well then, cast the first stone there, pal. Anyhow, if you did go to Facebook and like or follow us or whatever, then when Mark comes up with his cool idea, we will post it there and you will see it. And you'll see little clips from episodes that have just come out and maybe pictures if we have a guest on.
Yeah, I've had something that I'd probably be more on YouTube. I'll probably do it on there. It'll be like a series. It'll be kind of like the Real Housewives of podcasts.
What did I call it before? Johnny Bismarck? How about fucking Joe Ambitious? How about we just try to get one of these right? Make it through a Newt's promo without distracting.
Well, it's just...
It's going to be like Survivor, except for...
I bought an island in the Caribbean, and we're going to... Yeah.
I got outbid by some asshole. All right. Well, we used our ascertainer money, so...
That's why I didn't want to bring it up, because it's still in the idea phase. So, we'll go on.
Understood. We'll get it. I'll sign your NDA, okay? And...
Okay. We were going to do documentaries.
Should we do the radio game real quick? Or
very quick.
Okay.
Because you've wasted so much time. You take your Adderall so we can get through an episode.
All right, are we done with the Newt's promo?
We are, I hope.
Which one? All right. Okay, radio game. I'm going to give you my first four. Mark will give you his first four, and then I'll go to my new two. I went with Clapton and All Associated, Whitesnake. Shout out Sarah from Newt's. Heard of it. Anyway, then I'm going to go with 30th Special and Saga.
I did Boston, Foghat, Eric Carmen, who just passed away, rest in peace.
And the Raspberries, if that comes up.
Yes, and the 5-man electrical band. And did you add your other two?
I am now. Blue Oyster Cult and Blondie.
Okay. Allman Brothers and Starbuck.
Starbuck? What does Starbuck do?
Moonlight Feels Right.
Ooh.
Which is more of like a 97.
No, but that feels like... I think it's going to happen, man.
Uh-oh.
O'Reilly Auto Parts ad. I mean, that's better than half of the songs.
O'Reilly
Auto Parts. And it's a song.
Woo!
And so here's a new thing that... Well, it's not a new thing. It's something that we should post on our Facebook page now that all of you are going to follow our Facebook. We're going to post the winning songs from the radio game. We could also post our guesses, and then what the winning songs were. This was Def Leppard, Photograph.
Can we actually hire like an intern to do all this work for us, that we don't have to do it?
Yeah.
Because are you going to
Why don't we hire you? You got the time. You're retired.
Yeah, but I don't have the...
Give me the login. I'll charge you a fair market rate to post that. I'll just take your car keys right now.
Well, you can just do it and actually write it down and text me.
I could put it in the comments, whatever. Yeah. We'll try to make you more comfortable, Mark. we hate to see you, stress out over
I am
this.
very busy in life.
The idea is this is relaxing. So maybe I'll... Oh, you're the same guy that wants to take us worldwide, media-wise?
Worldwide.
Prestige worldwide. Boats and hoes. All right, well, we could talk about that maybe another time. So, radio game's over.
We'll listen to it again before we...
Well, we might do it'd be a third ballot at this point because it's a third bite at the apple. But Mark had a really cool idea, and that was to talk about...
saying that.
Yeah, we had, but the one we're going with... No, kidding. Mark, or one of us did, had the idea of music documentaries because I think everybody likes or has seen a music documentary that they've liked. And then both of us came up independently on the Rolling Stones, is it top 70? Or
top 70, you're correct.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about those top 70. And I have a couple that maybe aren't on that list, so I wouldn't try to play by the rules or whatever. But like when I looked at that list, the first two are on my list.
Right. I picked
and I think it goes shittiest to best, right? It's not like a good list will go from worst to first kind of thing. I shouldn't say shittiest. Hey, here's the worst one ever. But those are two that I can weigh in on, but I have to go find the FNA website.
You're right. There's a couple that weren't on the list that I thought the VH1 Behind the Music. Those were some awesome ones, but they never were counted as a music documentary.
And they all followed the predictable format.
Right, but they were still entertaining.
Nobody knows you. Everyone knows you. You go to treatment. One of you dies. Come back to her.
Right, they get back together.
That's the story of every fucking band on the thing.
But there was a few that the person would not do the reunion tour, which was kind of neat. And the one glaring omission was the Bee Gees.
The glaring omission. If we do, that documentary, you're right. That's on my list. That was off.
Yeah.
That was I think the average person would go into that as if they were being dragged to it, and then would walk away from it going, holy shit.
Yeah.
What a band. I don't think the Bee Gees were ever taken as seriously by the mainstream as they should have.
I agree.
They were, crazy. That's a well worth watching. I forget the name of it.
I think it was something like Bee Gees documentary.
I think it was called... I don't know how you spell that, though.
Or Saturday Night Live. Or no, Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night Live, Saturday Fever, same thing. All right, this list came out sometime before today. Oh, there it is. November 25th, around about Thanksgiving, 2021. So this list is a few years old. The first one they list at number 70 is U2's Rattle and Hum. Let me tell you about that, Mark. I had the CD before I saw the documentary.
I did also.
So I had listened to, and what still gets me on that whole thing is the song that opens it up. I think it's called Sand Demon's Land, and it's the Edge singing it. It's the guitar player singing it within I think it's an electric guitar, but it's a very muted electric guitar, and it's just like a really haunting kind of you can feel the fog coming off the sea in Ireland and some shitty weather, and you're drunk in a pub again, bloody nose, not sure how you got it. Anyhow,
I thought the interview with B.B. King,
heavy-handed.
Yes, but when he said, "I've never played a chord in my life. I just play single notes," I thought that was just when I heard that was
okay.
funny.
So agreed, and also B.B. King, I think, great deal of humility. But if you think about it, you ever listen to B.B. King solo? Bing!
Yeah.
But it's the way you play. It's like a jazz note. It's how it's placed, and it's how it rings, and it's all that stuff. But
But I know
Their time
exactly.
in Harlem, I thought, was overplayed in that documentary. Even though I like the documentary as a whole, I'm like,
I know what you're trying to get at. That the Bono was very pretentious in that. The whole thing. I looked at them differently after that.
Yeah, but that's really who he is. He's done a lot of good things and all that, but I mean, thank God he is that way because they put out a lot of good music. I'm not saying that I'm like a crazy hard U2 fan, but phrasing. I've talked to people that have seen him like live in the last 10 years, and especially at the thing in Vegas.
Oh yeah,
it's supposed to be the absolute shit, like a pure entertainment, bang for your buck.
I agree, but when he said to BB King, that I can't remember what he said, but it comes off so.
No, it was heavy-handed. That's the way I viewed it. It was kind of like, come on, man, you could have just hung out with BB King. You didn't have to make it about you or make it like, It
was douchey.
Yeah, douchey.
That's my new term for this podcast.
I think that rattle and hum, loosely interpreted,
douchey
in Swahili is douchey. All right, coming in at number 69, another one on my list is It Might Get Loud.
Oh,
and this one had plenty of douchiness to go around because The Edge was in it from U2. But if you've not seen it, it basically...
I thought it was all bass players. I didn't know The Edge was in it.
What? Are you kidding? It was Jack White, Jimmy Page, and The Edge.
I thought that was the bass one that the guy from... Oh, go on. Finish your thought.
The Rush guy or the Tool guy or...
No, the guy with... keep going.
Spinal Tap had a song with 3 bass players. Big Bottoms, I think is what it was called. Fittingly. Anyway, no, It Might Get Loud. Jimmy Page, Jack White, and The Edge, who I would say, like, if you were to do a kind of a triangle about, like how they're equally far apart in the pantheon of guitarists in how they approach playing guitar and all that stuff, and their, like, legendary riffs, if you will. But what was cool about it is they did, so it's called It Might Get Loud, and it came out in 2008, and I think I probably saw it on Netflix or something, so give it a look, because that one's actually, I would recommend that over Rattle and Hum by U2, but it kind of gives you like let's say the thing's an hour long, it gives you 10 minutes each of kind of them. I think the beginning of this one is Jack White making guitar out of like a fucking baseball bat or something. I mean, like literally just taking nails and then wires and then, plugging something into it and just, maybe it's a shovel. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but it's just out there. And then you got The Edge, and he's got 15 feet of effect pedals and all this kind of shit, and that's kind of his thing. And then you got Jimmy Page, the original skiffle guitar player, who just wrote hammering riff after riff. But what's really, so they do like a little bit on each guy individually, and then they kind of talk about each other, kiss each other's asses for another 10 minutes each. Yeah. And then they just sit around like a table, and like Jimmy Page stood up and played Whole Lotta Love. Or you know what I mean? The beginning of Whole Lotta Love. And just watching those two guys, it didn't seem contrived. It was literally like just staged. a couple of fucking kids going, yeah. So if you're into that kind of thing, you really, I think that It Might Get Loud's a good one. You go down the list. How about you talk a couple?
Well, I confused that one with the basis for Fish.
Okay.
That
well, there's a Fish one down the list.
No,
we're gonna have to do another episode on this. Look at the time.
I know.
We'll just hit the surface on this one. Next episode, Ascertainers, Newt, radio, right into the topic.
It'll never happen.
We could do that tonight if we wanted.
But the Fish one was the same thing where he pulled all these great basses together, and they did the same thing. Exactly, but it was just bass players.
Okay.
So,
which is why no one's heard of it? I love the bass.
You're just...
Slapping the bass, man.
Number 67 on the list?
Yes, sir.
Heavy Metal Parking Lot. that was covered in a previous episode.
We did. Tell us about how long is that documentary?
17 minutes.
And it's, if I'm not mistaken, it is a documentarian walking through the parking lot before a Judas Priest concert. And
Correct.
do you know the town?
Maryland.
In Maryland. And I think the most memorable thing that you said about it was the guy with his girlfriend. Why don't you walk us through that?
The write-up for this was pretty good in the Rolling Stones thing, that they may not be articulate, but they know what they love. And, yeah, and might be sexist. And this young kid said, I'm 18, here's my girlfriend who's 13. And I was thinking, wow.
Different times.
Yes.
Did they ask, like, how do you know each other? And it's like, oh, that's my cousin or anything?
You think it's only in the South, but no, it's in Maryland.
It's in Maryland. I think Baltimore has some claim to fame about being one of the STD capitals of the world. So,
if we go,
and you would hope it would be crabs because they're known for their crab cakes.
Crabs, and this came up on a previous episode. Crabs and the clap, is that the same?
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't know.
It sounds like a loaded question. It's like, well, how would you know? Well, the one you're going to want to treat that with a hot towel and some gasoline, and the other one you just want to chop your wiener right off.
You. Well, I'm going to end this one with number 65, and we'll come back to this topic later on. But the end of the century, the Ramones. That is a great documentary.
Is it about like the origin and the whole going back to the beginning?
Yes, but it covers them later in life too. You know how Joey and who's the I can't remember who's the main guy that started it, but they kind of,
there was Joey, there was Dee Dee, there was
Dee Dee was the main one. That
well, the singer was Joey.
Joey, yes.
But Joey wasn't one of the. He was like a cousin or something, wasn't he? Joey was the one that always reminded me of Howard Stern. Big, giant guy looking through his hair.
He had some sort of malady that...
God damn it, there was Dee Dee Ramone. There was...
Dee Dee, I think, was
if only there was a way. I'll look that up.
But anyways, they had a little animosity at the end. And it's not like they were all related. They changed their names to Ramone.
I thought that there was... Okay, so maybe Joe Ramone was not even, but I thought it started off like 3 out of the 4.
There were a few,
Ramones.
but they just changed their name and they started dressing in black and t-shirts and leather jackets, and that was just kind of their thing. To be in the band, you had to change your name to Ramone at the end.
Okay, that makes sense. There was Joey Ramone, Johnny Ramone, Dee Dee Ramone, Richie Stern, Tommy Ramone, Mark Ramone, Richie Ramone, Elvis Ramone.
Wow.
Elvis Ramone.
He changed his name? So he's still alive.
He's playing tambourine for the Ramones. He's been there the whole time. Ah, darn this lighting. Anyway, then CJ Ramone. So, okay, now it makes sense what you're saying. Because I don't know about Richie Stern, though. What the hell? There's like 2, 4, 6. There's like 10 names. All Ramone, and then Richie Stern, and he doesn't have like a blue thing, like a link. He's just regular black font.
Yeah, he wouldn't change his name, and they just looked down on him and said, you know what?
He went and he's formed the Sterns. I think that's what happened there. The Sterns, they were very serious rockers.
Well, classic ascertainers, we did not get to our subject like we should have.
Let's try it again.
Enough.
Let's play 3. We're going to try it again. We're going to see if the
magic is
if the
still
tiredness
going.
and the alcohol. We'll just see. Well, you may or may not see this one. This might be one of those photos that makes it into the shredder, and like when you just take a picture and you didn't get.
I never delete anything, and I always post them.
Well, that's why I can't be governor. All right. Well, to you, ascertainer fan, listener, I hate the word fan, enthusiast, curiouser, stalker, whatever you want to call yourself, thanks for listening. Thanks for stopping by.
Wow. Very professional. Goodbye, everyone.